When Min moved into the new boarding house, he didn't think much of it. The rent was cheap, close to campus, and the room was fully furnished. The building had 7 rooms, tucked deep in a narrow alley hidden behind a row of tall apartments. The landlady was a middle-aged woman who spoke softly but never met his eyes. When she showed Min the room, she said only one thing. "This one's old. People never stay long. But if you're okay with that, I'll give you a discount." Min moved in on a rainy afternoon. The hallway was long and damp, dimly lit by flickering yellow lights. Room number 6 sat at the far end, next to a locked storage closet. He noticed a long scratch across the door, like someone had clawed at it repeatedly. But he didn't ask. Min wasn't the type to be spooked by vague details. The first night passed quietly, apart from the wind howling through the door gaps and the slow drip-drip of water in the bathroom. On the second night, just as he was drifting off, he heard knocking. 3 soft taps, deliberate, evenly spaced. He opened the door. No one. The hallway was empty. On the third night, the knocking became footsteps, dragging, bare soles sliding slowly over damp cement. They stopped directly in front of his door. Min held his breath. Then came breathing, long, hoarse, labored, right on the other side. He didn't open the door. But the next morning, he found a small, wet footprint just inside his room. It faced inward. That evening, Min approached the landlady. She hesitated, then sighed. "That room has a past. Last year, a girl took her own life, slit her wrists, laid there for 3 days before anyone found her. Blood leaked into the hallway. Since then, no one stays. Some say they see someone sitting in the bathroom at night." Min said nothing. He didn't move out. Something about the room gripped him, not because of money, because of the dreams. He began dreaming of the girl, sitting with her back turned on the cold tile floor, long hair draped down her back, hands limp at her sides, surrounded by a wide red puddle. She never spoke, but Min could feel her sorrow like a blade in his chest, sharp, silent, heavy. One night, he woke at 2:17 a.m. The sound of running water echoed from the bathroom. He got up. The light inside flickered. Then he saw it, a bloody handprint on the mirror, small, slender, trembling as if someone had touched it from the other side. He didn't scream. He stared. Then wrote with a damp finger on the mirror's fogged glass. "Who are you?" The blood smeared. Letters appeared beneath his. "You can hear me now." From then on, they spoke nightly. She never appeared in full, only communicated through the mirror. Min wrote. The mirror answered in blood. Some nights it was just symbols, sometimes phrases. But with each message, he began to see her more clearly. No longer just in dreams. She was behind him in the mirror, slightly blurred, head tilted, eyes sunken, lips moving. When he turned around, nothing. But if he waited too long to respond, the lights would flash wildly, and a muffled sobbing would vibrate through the walls. Min began journaling. He called her Hong, a name that appeared once, scratched in dry blood on the glass. He searched records, old papers, and finally found a short article. Female student, age 22, design major, suicide after emotional breakdown following betrayal by boyfriend. The incident occurred on June 6th, in room number 6. Min froze. The article had no photo, but he already knew her face, every detail. She didn't just haunt the room. The mirror was her prison. Within a week, Min stopped sleeping. She didn't let him. Each time he closed his eyes, she'd appear. Her cold fingers would touch his forehead, his throat, his chest. "You hear me now. Don't leave." Min wasn't afraid. He began to need her presence. She was never angry, never jealous, only quiet, only mournful. But the more he clung to her, the deeper he fell. His friends couldn't reach him. They came to check, but he never opened the door. When the building manager used a master key to enter, the room was pitch black. The mirror in the bathroom had been hung upside down. Blood symbols circled it. Min was taken to a psychiatric facility. Diagnosis, post-traumatic psychotic hallucination. But his first night at the hospital, the mirror in his bathroom shattered. The night nurse reported faint humming, like a lullaby, from behind the door. By morning, Min had vanished. Medical records say he escaped. But CCTV footage showed no movement. His room door had been locked from the inside. On the bathroom wall, scrawled in blood, they found, "She brought me home." 2 weeks later, a new student moved into room number 6. On the first night, he took a selfie in the bathroom mirror and sent it to friends. In the photo, standing behind him was a girl in a white dress, head tilted, hand resting on his shoulder, smiling. He hadn't seen anything while taking the photo. That night, he dreamed of sitting before a mirror, paralyzed. On the other side, a young man was trying desperately to call his name. Dongza village sat deep in the mountains, completely cut off from the nearby town. There was only one narrow dirt path leading in, weaving through dense bamboo forests. The village had no cell signal, no electricity grid, and no visitor had ever stayed longer than a single night. According to legend, the villagers had made a pact with the Shadow, an ancient force that did not belong to this world. Every year, on the 9th night of the 9th lunar month, the villagers would hold a ritual called the Shadow Calling to preserve the safety of their crops and their own lives. No one was allowed to leave the village before the ritual. No one was allowed to enter once it began. If anyone heard their name being called at midnight with no one in sight, they were strictly forbidden from responding. Ha was a student of anthropology, arriving late to the field trip due to a schedule mix-up. She arrived in Dongsha 3 days behind the rest of her research group. By the time she got there, dusk had already fallen, and the rain had begun. No one came to greet her. As she stepped through the bamboo gate into the village, a cold ripple ran down her back. The whole place felt deserted, though faint lights flickered in the wooden stilt houses. An old woman sat beneath the eaves of one house, silent and still, staring directly at her. When Ha asked if the festival was still happening, the woman replied, "It's happening now, but it's not for you." Ha explained she was just a student, meant no harm, only to be met with a slow shake of the head. "You stepped in. Now you must stay. The ritual is not for outsiders." That night, Ha was reluctantly allowed to sleep in the back shed of the village elder, Mr. Lamb. He didn't greet her kindly. He simply pointed to the narrow wooden room behind the kitchen and laid down rules. Do not go outside after dark. If you hear voices, ignore them. If someone calls your name, pretend you're deaf. If you see a shadow outside the door, close your eyes. She didn't understand any of it. But near midnight, just as the rain stopped, she heard drumming echoing from the village center, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. She peeked through the window. In the courtyard of the communal house, the entire village knelt in a perfect circle, chanting something low and continuous. In the center stood a tall bamboo pole, from which hung a white garment that looked like burial cloth. And above it, suspended in the air, was a human-shaped shadow with no body, just a solid, dense blackness. Its head hung at an unnatural angle, its arms dangled as if lifeless, and yet no one seemed afraid. They continued chanting as the shadow slowly drifted around the circle. Ha fell back, heart pounding. She shut the door, hid under her blanket. But then the calling began, her mother's voice. "Sweetheart, open the door. Mommy's lost." She jolted upright. That couldn't be real. Her mother was in the city, miles away. "Please, I'm cold." She crept toward the door. A shadow passed beneath it, thin as smoke, clearly human-shaped. "Let me in. Don't you love me?" The voice slowed. It grew guttural, rasping. "Look at me." Ha clutched her ears, curled into a ball. The voice eventually faded as dawn approached. The next morning, the village returned to its routines, as if no ritual had happened at all. When she asked, Mr. Lamb said little. "You came on the wrong day. Now the shadow knows your face. You must finish the ritual. If not, it will follow you home." That night, the second part of the ceremony took place, the offering to the shadow. Villagers brought gifts and laid them around the bamboo pole, chicken blood, human hair, and strips of red cloth with names written in black ink. Among them was a strip of white cloth. Her name was written on it. Ha trembled. She demanded to know why her name was there. Mr. Lamb answered, "Because it already called you. Now you belong to the ritual." She protested. She said she wanted to leave. They locked her in a hut behind the village, what they called the shadow cage. Inside, there was nothing but a large mirror covered with a black cloth. "Do not remove it," they warned, "no matter what you hear, no matter what you see." But that night, alone in the hut, she heard whispering from inside the mirror. Just a glance, only a peek. The cloth trembled, then fell. The mirror stood uncovered. It did not reflect her. It showed an empty room. And at its center, a figure slowly walked forward. The mirror was not a mirror. It was a window, a gateway, A cold, pale dimension without sound. The figure had her face, identical, every feature, but the eyes were hollow, and the mouth slowly opened. Change, places. Then blackness took her. When she woke, villagers surrounded her. The bamboo pole had snapped in two. The shadow had vanished. Mr. Lamb said, "The ritual has chosen. You're no longer being called." She left the village the next day. Back in the city, she felt relief, until her first night home. In the bathroom mirror, she saw herself. But something was wrong. She was standing here. But her reflection was also standing there. And then, with a 1-second delay, the reflection smiled first.